And hello again, everybody, and welcome to an action-packed Saturday afternoon of world-class thoroughbred racing live in Hallandale Beach, Florida at Gulfstream Park. 11 races on the card here this afternoon. Welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Saturday in Hallandale Beach. Track announcer Pete Eiler, joined by racing analyst Samantha Perry, getting ready to take you through the 11-race program here on this Saturday afternoon. Nobody picked 6 yesterday, a rare occurrence. 5 of 6 is all you needed.
Yeah.
A couple of big favorites up in flames.
Yeah, it was a very tricky sequence, I thought, and it was hard to make some of the horses that won.
I know I zigged when I should have zagged
Yeah.
and zagged when I should have zigged on a couple of races yesterday.
Well, it wasn't just you.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Well, we have 11 races on the card today. I don't think the waters get much shallower here today. Some deep and competitive races. $50,000 up for grabs as part of a gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. Again, with the 11-race format, the Rainbow Six begins with race number 6. The early pick 5, as it always does, begins with race number 1. Heavy favorite with a lot of wagering time remaining. If this horse is heavily favored, you got to swing against, right?
You would think so. Let's take a look and see what Brian did. He's always got the early pick 5 duties. 2 deep here. He does have Crown Jack, but he also has Dreamy as well. That's interesting. Race 2, 2 deep as well. Nothing but pumps. He bet that horse a couple races back.
Yeah, he talked me onto him last time. I need a couple of low-interest loans to get that money back.
Yeah, we'll find him for that. Race 3, 4 deep. Not the strongest opinions. He's got Grand Rock, though, in the mix. I think that horse will be very tough. And race number 4, 2 deep, Better Go, 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 and Beastly Speed, the firster for Safi Joseph. Always dangerous when he has a firster running in race number 5. He's got the 4 Lace Up as well as Cool Zahn and Curlin's Cruisin'. That's my top pick in that spot. $48 to play. I felt like it was a tricky card today.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm also delighted to hear you have Curlin's Cruisin' on top in that race. This is a horse that I have strong opinions about myself.
Yep.
I'm intrigued to see if the bettors come for him like I think they will, because his figure wasn't really good, but geez, he had a ton of trouble.
A ton, yep.
Well, let's kick it off with race number 1. Race number 1 on the Tapeta track. The Tapeta track is always fast. Partly cloudy conditions in South Florida right now. I don't think the main track will be anything other than fast to start the day, but we'll confirm that for you as the day goes on. Race 1 on the all-weather surface, 2-year-old maiden claimers. Crown Jack, she certainly has the resume, but by the same token, she is a horse that's been beat a couple of times. Might be some horses on the improve here, including your top play at a huge number.
Yeah, and the 6 horses kind of bottom out the field right now just with all the money, but I don't trust Crown Jack at all. I think Quick Recovery it's just steadily improving, and that first start on the Tapeta going short after going 2 turns at Monmouth on the grass, I think kind of caught her off guard just a little bit. Coming out of a race, the second place finisher came back to win last weekend.
On the rise in class, too.
Exactly, yeah, for the maiden special weight level. So I think Quick Recovery looks like a good bet.
Platinum Rocker's a horse that I didn't know what to do about on the morning line side of things. Right now I swung too low, but that could always be good. This is a horse who just lost a Quick Recovery. Yeah. Makes sense if you like the 2. You'd have to use the 8 as well.
Yeah, and I think she was a filly as well that kind of needed a start to get her legs under herself. She just was a bit immature just watching her from the sale to now, and I think she can definitely take a step forward.
Well, that's certainly the name of the game here. You did not use a horse that Brian did use, who I figure will take money on the class drop, the 11 Dreamy. Dreamy comes out of a pretty strong race. Unrelentless was a good winner, and then Ailes Gift came right back to win. So this is a steep class drop, but you don't know about the all-weather, and you're marooned out wide.
Yeah, that could be a problem for her. Now, she doesn't seem to have a lot of speed from the gate, at least from her dirt effort. So yesterday I felt like a lot of the races were won coming out the back, and that could help.
Well, and it's an interesting thing, too. It's always something that I love to look at. She gets a 40 buyer speed figure. I know there's a lot of folks that aren't huge buyer speed figure guys. But what I like to see is this horse gets beat a long way and gets a 40 buyer speed figure. When you look at Crown Jack, she gets beat a neck 2 back at just running a 47. So I love that because it means that the horse that's coming out of the Dreamy by default is coming out of a really strong race.
Exactly.
That's how you know that without knowing that.
Exactly.
If they get a big figure getting beat a long way, it was a strong race.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the number 6, Crown Jack, is a heavy favorite in the first race. Samantha swinging against. Brian's going to use defensively with the 11 Dreamy on the class drop. Let's go to the second race. The usual customers, non-winners are 2 at the $8,000 level. 2 turns on Tapeta track. Krabby ran well for the new barn last time out. She certainly appears to be the one to beat in here.
Yeah, she does. I still spread a little bit more in my early pick 4, and we'll show this ticket. I'm anchoring with Curlin's Cruisin'. 3 deep
like
here. Yep, race 3 for me. I've got the 7 on top. That is Tap Into Your Beer. That was a strong stretch drive. We'll show it to you as well in the replay. Race 4, the 2 I've got on top, Southern Dreamin'. Like I mentioned, Curlin's Cruisin', and we've got that replay, and you said it in the replay when you were doing your race call. That was a bad check out of that spot here. I think that guy's going to be ready to roll today.
I mean, I just think that, we'll get to it in a little bit, but I mean, that's one of those things where the figure means nothing to me based on the experience that was attained in the run, and Curlin's Cruisin' was much the best horse in that race. But that's the anchor leg of that early pick 4. First leg of that early pick 4, non-winners of 2 at the $8,000 level. Krabby makes sense, nothing but pumps on a class drop. She's back to reality here, nothing but pumps. She was freshened up, ran off the shelf, and then won at the $12,500 level. It's not as big a class drop as I would think you would think it is, only because the race last time out, not all that strong,
right.
Which is why Brian convinced me to bet on her, and I'm still looking for her.
She might be there today, though. That was just, I get maybe not the strongest race for the level, the $20,000 level, just straight non-winners of 2, but I think that she set up well here. She showed a bit more interest early on in that last race, too, which you like to see because you can't win races like that when she broke her maiden that far out of it.
One Track Mind, your second play in this race, has been defeated the only 2 times she's ran against Krabby. Krabby's beat her, but the counter argument to that is Krabby's going to be a shorter price. So.
Exactly, and these horses kind of tend to take turns beating each other, especially on the Tapeta. Hector Diaz Jr. gets aboard, and that's kind of why I opted for her on top.
Looks like the inside 3 to start your early pick 4, race number 2 on the program. Let's roll right along to the third race of the afternoon. First main track event of the day, 6 furlongs over that main track. Non-winners of 2, the category Grand Rock. 1 for 9 in his racing career, but his last race points him out as the horse to beat.
Yeah, big time. I can't knock him too much. I've got him placed second. If he can run that race, he will be really tough. But let's pull up the replay of Tap Into Your Beer because this was a long, hard stretch run here for this horse. He ended up being defeated by Natural Vibes, but the money was showing on Natural Vibes. Picked off the pace late. They picked it up a bit quicker in the later half of the race. I liked how this horse didn't give up, though.
Well, the thing about him is he has no turn of speed, but neither does Natural Vibes. These are 2 horses that are running the same speed at the same time of the race. They just always do that.
Yeah.
The reason why they drew off from the competition is that the horses up front, including Il Malandrino, they went way too fast, way too soon. So now you have a scenario where Tap Into Your Beer, he's a bit camera shy, he's 1 for 20, and he has no turn of speed, but he does have good form. So that's the risk versus reward scenario there.
He's cutting back for the first time, too, which I think is an interesting move for the connections. Maybe this is... He's been just routing the whole time. I think this little cutback in distance, I expect Hector Diaz to be pretty aggressive with him. It'll be interesting to see how it kind of plays out.
It will be, and it's another thing to keep in mind that Ray Yanez has him in career form last time. His race last time was his career best figure, and his race 2 starts ago was a tie for his best figure prior to that. So he's in career good form right now, but he is what he is. The number 1 Grand Rock is a horse who just finished second, sprinting against Sebere. Form cycle, kind of
Exactly, yeah. The 1 and the 2, they kind of, to me, not a lot separates them. The 2 has a bit more upside just in the lightly raced angle and 100% on the board in all of his starts, but it's
they look like they're better than everybody else.
Exactly, yeah. The separation after that, it's a big one.
1, 2, 7, the key contenders in the third race at Gulfstream as we march forward to race number 4. Fourth race brings out maiden special weight rivals. Not a key scratch, but a scratch to note nevertheless. Number 3, How Surprising is out. Does take away some of the form out of the race. Better Go, Go, Go hasn't been seen since their debut run behind Southern Dream. Southern Dream and Better Go, 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 the 2 horses with big form. Safi's got a firster with good works outside.
Yeah, so let's first touch on Better Go, Go, Go and Southern Dream. Southern Dream was just very slow to break. but made a really nice move on the rail. And the thing about Southern Dream on the rail there, Beta Go-Go goes the 2 on the outside. Southern Dream was in, I think, the worst part of the track the whole race because it was just puddles of water on that inside path. And this horse ran really well. I get that Beta Go. It was his first start, so that's fine. But if you look at between the lines here a little bit, he was 4 years old when he debuted, and then he kind of came a few months off, 3 months off to this spot here. That kind of gives me some, like, I want to be a bit hesitant on this horse. And I thought Southern Dream I'd get 0 for 9. This horse really talking about camera shy as well because he looks like he should have won a lot of races. But I'm going to give him one more shot.
Well, Southern Dream's been knocking heads against some really good maidens at the championship meet. He also is a horse that's...
Arcangelo in the running lines.
Yeah. But the thing about this race is you have to know what the tactics of the 7 are. If you figure that he's going to go to the front or at least have some speed, that could set it up for Southern Dream. If he's the superior speed, which he very well may be, then he's probably the horse to beat here.
When you name a horse Beastly Speed, you hope they're fast, but I always feel like when they name horses a certain thing, like Cupcake, they're like the most evil horse ever. Not sweet at all. So maybe Beastly Speed will be... It's hard to break from the outside post position.
How about Saffie Joseph paying $72 in the race yesterday?
Yeah, that was a head-scratcher there.
You will not have that luxury here as he does have Beastly Speed with leading rider Edgard Zayas. First time Lasik in some quality works. 2, 6, and 7, the key contenders in race number 4. We go to the 5th race now. This is the race that we keep talking about, so now we've got to it. Curlin's Cruisin', 5-2 on the morning line. I would take a small low-interest loan out and head to the windows for 5-2. This horse is even money on the debut. Had Skylar Spandabell, who has been the B rider for Saffie riding, which is why I wanted no part of that horse at even money that day. But boy, oh boy, did he get a learning experience in that effort. Yeah,
let's take a look at just the beginning of the race and really the first part of the trouble. Now, this horse was the 4 here and broke well, was getting in a good hustle position by Skylar Spandabell here. And then we'll start to see the trouble. It was, right there. Then you see the pink just bounced around. Just didn't have a seam, then had to move to the inside. But for a first-time starter, you don't win from here.
Well, and that's the other thing about it is, and this is where you can speak to something that I can't, is how much mentally does that blow their minds when they've never done it before and then something like that happens? I mean, it has to take a toll on them mentally.
Exactly, and I think probably not at first because you see he still was in just a good little running speed, but then he just kind of spit it out a little bit. Sometimes it just takes horses, when they get beat up like that, and when you see them get jolted around, I mean, these are 1,000-pound animals. That's a lot for them.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is you do have some other horses in here, first-timers, horses coming out of different races like Lace Up, who lost to St. No More, who came back to beat allowance horses in his next try. How does the race that Curlin's Cruisin' stack up against some of these other horses? He's no cinch by any stretch of the imagination, but I think there's some significant upside here, and so do you. Yeah,
the rest of the field, we've got a lot of unknowns here, but to me, looking at this field, it's the horses that are coming in here, first-time starters, they're not connections that win first out. So that's why I think going with an experienced runner could help a little bit.
Which experienced runner, other than the first-timer, did you go with? I guess you have the 8 of Cotty King. Cotty King's going to be a huge number here.
Yeah, I think that this horse... I don't know what to get from this horse because I think that Ron Spatz was probably a bit disappointed in both of his efforts. I think he's much better than we've seen with him, and we just haven't seen it yet. And he gets Lionel Reyes.
That's why I just figured that out as I was asking that question.
So that's a good sign.
Vice President of the Lionel Reyes fan club.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think this horse is better than he's shown.
Well, the 7's the horse to beat, but there's a lot of different ways to go in here. That seems to be the rule rather than the exception here today. That's race number 5. Time for a brief timeout. When we come back, the Rainbow Six sequence on Gulfstream today, right after this. And they're off.
My Racehorse has opened up a door for people that felt like that door would have never been opened for them.
We can all be owners and we can all get that excitement.
You can meet your horse through the different experiences and all of the events that My Racehorse puts together. You get that hands-on connection.
Whether you have $50 or $500, everyone that joins My Racehorse gets that experience of a lifetime.
I love My Racehorse. Let's go.
40 minutes out from the opening race on a Saturday in South Florida. Welcome back to Gulfstream Park today. Track announcer Pete Aiello, joining by race analyst Samantha Perry. We're up to the midway point on the Saturday program. Race number 6 is up next on our show. It starts the 20-cent Rainbow Six. $50,000 jackpot pool guarantee in the Rainbow Six today.
Yeah, let's take a look at see what Brian did. I thought this latter half of the card was tricky, but he found some anchorage. So 2x4x4x2x2. So
wow, singling Tiara in the last.
That's a bold single there. That's his best bet, I believe. Race 7, not the strongest opinion. I thought that this race was a bit tricky here. He's got Demogorgon. There were 4 horses out of this race that just had wins, so that was going to be a tricky one. Race 8, again, I agree with him. This is a tough one. I put Animestic on top for Kelsey Danner, coming back to the Tapeta after facing Stronger at Colonial over the summer. Just too deep in the 9th race. The 5 and the 7, Positive Review and Steel Sunshine. Doesn't have my long shot. I've got Eastside Cool as my long shot, but I think my price may be a little bit affected with the scratch of Miles D. Race 10, too deep. He's got Stat. I agree with that. And Marwad, the return of Marwad, who was second in the Mac Demerta. That was a very strong race. We'll show the replay. And like you said, Pete, Tiara.
He always does this. He singles in the hardest races, but I guess that's the move, right? I mean, that's what all of the professional gamblers say. You need to take a stand in races where no one else is taking a stand.
Yep.
You
That's
don't
how
want
you
to be.
sweep it.
Yep, and I guess I should listen to that advice. We're on now to race number 6, the starting leg. I agree with Brian here. I would have to imagine that you don't agree with Brian. I thought Battle Cry and Chick Shadow just too fast for these other horses.
It seems like it, and definitely Battle Cry is the horse to beat in my mind. She's just been really strong lately on the dirt and just showed on the Tapeta. To me, Midnight Bella is a mare that she's coming out of a race, Coco's race, where Coco was just so good and the rest of the field was just not. I think Midnight Bella is better than Chick Shadow. I just don't think we've seen it yet, and I think it's good the post.
I was going to say, I mean, the last time they ran against each other, they both got Chick Shadow with a rousing bit. I mean, I don't know. If Chick Shadow runs the race she ran last time or 3 starts ago, I don't think they're fast enough.
I get it. Chick Shadow, to me, though, I don't think she's as good as her races show.
Okay.
I get it.
That.
Yeah, I just think I get it. Transient's a tough mare, and Time Passage. I absolutely love Time Passage, who just won last weekend in our stake race there. But Chick Shadow, it's like everybody, it's the winner, and then she's just better than everybody else. And the group everybody else is a part of is not that great.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how the money gets shuffled around.
Yeah, that
here.
will be interesting.
If she's the second or third choice, I'm still on the bandwagon.
I don't blame you.
Well, let's go now to race number 7, the starting leg of today's late pick 5. Race number 7. This is a tough race. Fillies and mares on the Tapeta track at a mile and a 16th. Lots of different ways to go in here. Not a huge separation from the contenders and the pretenders here.
Yeah, this is a really strong sequence. I could have made this over $100. We'll take a look at my pick 5 ticket. I had to cut it down. $54, no singles. I tried. I couldn't do it. This race we'll get to in just a second. Race 8, the 9 on top for me. That is Animestic. But again, I've got a couple others. Race number 9, Eastside Cool's my long shot. Positive Review has a strong recency edge against a tough group here at the level or the distance, especially. Race number 10, just 2 for me. Figuretti. I love that they're stretching this horse out. Jose D'Angelo first off the claim, and in race number 11, the finale. If you want to go a little bit bigger, maybe put the 6 in. That was a horse I dropped, which naturally that's the horse that might come back at me.
Is this you seriously are using Eldon's Prince and not Marwad?
I am.
Wow.
Yep.
You are my hero.
I will get to it. I'm kind of against Marwad today.
That makes sense, but I mean, I thought Elgin's Prince might have been a typo, just as close as they are in the pole position.
You had to double check that.
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll thank me later.
Well, this race makes more sense here. Demogorgon. Oh, by the way, thank you for saying that. On this program yesterday, Sam bailed me out of a huge jam as I was dead set against the favorite in the second race, and on this very telecast, she convinced me to not only be dead set on the horse, but to bet every dime I had. So
Perfect.
I'll take
Loved
my
it.
even money.
Yeah, there we go.
Demogorgon.
Yeah.
What about Demogorgon? She has a lot more good days than bad days, and that's
does.
an asset against horses like this.
Yeah, and I thought that she was way overclassed after beating that 12-5 level. She tried really hard, and then she came back in the same level, did it again. She's a huge filly. The rail kind of bothers me a little bit, and you probably see her on the track. I mean, she's massive. Like, she could just step over a lot of these horses. And I know her just because Brendan Walsh used to have her, so I remember her from the barn. But a lot of these horses, there are 4 of them that won their last out. So our stubbornness.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, we don't. I don't like to play horses and Petas the same way that have won their last out on the Tapeta.
Yeah, but Demogorgon is. I like the fact that Jesus Rios really seems to understand what this filly needs and wants to do.
Yep, and I think she's tricky to ride. So
that's there's nothing better than a rider that maybe is more of a niche rider that gets along with a horse. And I really dislike it the other way when something's rolling with a low-profile rider and they switch riders.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Who else you got here? You got the 5 Lady Dominance. She makes some sense. She
Yep.
won last time out. Some of these horses are horses that get checks that don't ever seem to win. She Fled the Scene comes to mind there.
Yeah.
So I can
Oh my
understand why
gosh.
you're trying to swing against some of these horses.
Yeah, She Fled the Scene. She's one that looks like she should have maybe had double the amount of wins she's had, or at least 3 more come to mind. I felt like she had to win less out, and she just wouldn't go by Lady Dominance. And one I don't have, she's my 5th pick, Dancing with Daffodils. I think you just have to give her a little bit of credit. I get it was a $10,000 level, but that was a big race she ran last time.
The freshening's what I don't like because
That's
she
a
was
good
in
point.
such good form, but the price will be right. I mean, you can make a case for just about everybody in here. Cosi 3 months ago would have been the favorite in this race, and now she'll probably be 12 to 1 or so.
Yeah, Cozy, I'm not sure what to do with either. She wasn't bet at all last time.
I know.
That was weird.
Yep, and Swinatra does not make the Samantha Perry top 4, but she does need some airtime because she's been racing against quality individuals. Midnight Bella,
Yep.
Coco, Battle Cry in the company lines. She beat Sandpiper Memories last time out. I mentioned that only to say Sandpiper Memories won the last race yesterday, so that's a company line that will be italicized that isn't yet.
There's no question of her tactics.
Yeah, she's going to the front.
She's going to the lead. She doesn't do it in a quick way at all, in a quick fashion. Nope, she just leisurely goes up there. Think Golden Voice is going to be a problem for her today.
Makes sense, makes sense. A lot of different ways to go in the 7th race, so let's go to the 8th race now. Starting leg of today's Elite Pick 4. Waters maybe a little bit more shallow here. You're the vice president of the Leonel Reyes fan club. I am the president, CEO, and founder of the Pablo Morales fan club, so certainly glad to have Pablo in town for the riding assignment. He rides Happy Is as Happy Does for one of his go-to barns in Teresa Connolly.
Yeah, let's look at a stat. Brian found this stat, and I wanted to show with the number 3, Happy Is as Happy Does, now that you do bring that up. This is Teresa Connolly, all-weather sprints the past 5 years, 27%. This is impressive.
Well, and I think that maybe that stat is skewed a little bit in the sense that she does all of her best work in Erie, PA at Presque Isle Downs, which is all weather. So a lot of her well-spotted horses, of course, will be sprinting over the all-weather. But nevertheless, Happy Is as Happy Does won for fun last time out up in Erie, PA.
Yep.
They're going to try 2 turns for the first time here today. There's some other speed in here and capture the time out wide. I understand and like Anamnestic. The question is, back from Colonial, I always try to want to see one. It's one of my weird things.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. That was a really hard-fought race last time at Colonial. Smart Striker won the race. I feel like that it was a strong race to come out of. I like the fact, though, Edgar Perez was the last one to win on this horse.
Right.
He's back
That makes
on
sense.
today. Yep, he paired wins on her on the Tapeta during the championship meet. So
And the last time Anamnestic won, it was on the Tapeta at Gulfstream.
exactly. So some things to like about Anamnestic for sure.
Starship Wizard. Here's a horse that would have been 30 to 1 in this race about 3 months ago, but he's got into very, very good form for Jose
He
Garofalo.
really, really has. This is just a little cool little state bred to have, I think. And Sammy Camacho gets aboard.
Yep, Sammy's been riding in very, very good form on Starship Wizard, the 5 in race number 8. Anybody else you want to touch on? Capture the Time. He was good last time, but there's other speed in here.
And that could be a problem. This is his second time stretching out. You almost wonder if maybe he can back off of it a little bit now. Sometimes when you're going right from those sprints to 2 turns,
he's got the outside draw, so he's kind of...
you're in a tough spot already.
Yeah, he's got to either have to go or
not.
Get lucky and then maybe sit on the hip of somebody. But
yeah.
We go now to race number 9. Going and sitting on the hip is not going to be where the favorite is in this race. Race number 9, allowance quality runners. The biggest scratch on the program is here. Scratch the 1, Miles D. He figured to be a heavy second choice behind the favorite Steel Sunshine. Steel Sunshine, from a speed figure standpoint, from a class standpoint, from pretty much every metric you look at, is the horse to beat in here.
Yeah.
But the problem is a huge tactical disadvantage being a deep closer over this racetrack.
Yeah, it's the 2 turns for me. I think he prefers it. And now he just gets that 1 turn. What I like that Bobby DeBona's doing with this horse, though, is taking the blinkers off.
Well, last time out, he was 3rd in the Island, the Grade 3 contest at Monmouth. So some huge class relief for him. If, in fact, the pace is the reason why he gets beat, it has to be Positive Review or Eastside Cool who get the tactical advantage, right? Because nobody else in here has any speed.
No, and let's look at Eastside Cool's replay. This is my long shot. This was at Del Mar. This horse had the lead the whole way. This was a 2-turn event at Del Mar. This horse ran really well. I get it. It was a 4th place finish. This was under Kristen Mulhall's training, and before that was trained by somebody else. So now Sandino Hernandez brought some horses there to Del Mar. Him and Rohan Crichton both did. And he takes this horse from Mulhall, brings this horse here to Gulfstream, and immediately cuts back to the 1-turn distance. I love that.
Well, you helped me yesterday with the California
There
Company
you go,
lines.
yeah.
What can you tell me about the race he comes out of?
So I can't say a lot. Now, Gasly runs today, the horse that ran 2nd in that race we just watched. So we'll have to see. Good Juju ran, I believe, last week or the week before and just ran okay. So company lines, I don't have the strongest opinion to talk you on to like yesterday with Charlie Lightning and Rohan Crichton. But I do think that in the care of Sandino Hernandez for at least the past month, shipping over here, this is a good move. And not a knock on anybody who's had this horse in the past, but I love this 1-turn distance for him.
Second start off the freshening, couple of good works. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're trying to swing against the favorite, you're going to get a tactical advantage with the 2 and the 5. Positive Review, the other horse that Brian used in the race for Safi Joseph Jr. I hope they don't get acquainted too much, if you know what I mean. They don't need to be going too much.
Yeah, that could be very problematic, but set up well for Steel Sunshine.
Let's go to the 10th race. The 10th race is a very, very good race. It's the feature race of the afternoon. A stake in disguise is what I would like to say.
Definitely.
It's a mile and a 16th allowance race. Marwad, 2nd in the Grade 2 McDermott in March. Where has he been? We don't know. Is he ready? We don't know. Will he be the favorite? I think so.
I think so, too. Let's pull up the replay of Marwad. This was in the Grade 2 race. He doesn't face anybody like this. I butchered the name earlier, so that's why I'm not saying it today. He's the 13 post. First off, impossible post already for this horse here. He ran very, very well in this spot. Huge buyer. Now, that was on the grass, but he has one on the Tapeta. He's won 2 on the Tapeta. He only has 3 wins, so...
Well, and one of the things, I don't know if your handicapping is the same as mine in the sense that if I'm looking for a horse who's been laid up for an extended amount of time, I'm looking for one of 2 things. One, has he been laid up for an extended amount of time, and how did he do off the shelf that time? And if I can't find that, which would be the case with Marwad,
right,
he won on debut. Well, that's the same as being laid up for a long, long time because he had never run before. So
yeah,
I think he can fire fresh is the point I'm trying to make.
I think so, too. I see this race as a prep.
I agree.
To go longer. Yeah. I think it's going to be too sharp for him, but it's a good start. And it's not like this is an easy race to come back.
By the way, big scratch in here. Should have mentioned that at the top of the analysis. The 11 Fly the W is out.
See tomorrow.
He's in tomorrow. He's not in an incredibly easy spot tomorrow either, but it's a better spot than this.
Yeah, exactly.
Eldon's Prince, I have to hold your feet to the fire. Give me something here. Give me something.
Yeah, so coming out of a race at Kentucky Downs, Balladeer for George Papamadromu won. Came back to win again at Del Mar in a very tough race. I was completely against Balladeer coming back to win. That form holds up. It was too far last time. As Happy Joseph took some shots there with Kentucky Downs. And there's no layoff line now for this horse, which this is a good sign for me. I like the connections. I'm gonna try. We'll
You
see.
made a case. You made a case. I bow to you. You made a
Well,
case.
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, at 15-1 on the line, I don't disagree with it, and we'll see where the money goes.
Might be a little bullish because he does have some good figures, but this is a race where, by the way, it's from the morning line perspective, you can essentially chuck it because Fly the W's out. That's what destroyed the morning line when making this race for me, was that you knew the 10 and 11 were going to take all the money. Well, if the 11 is out,
What
the
do you-
10's probably going to go favored. How much of a favorite he is, I don't know.
Right.
But that'll shuffle everybody underneath way, way down.
Yeah.
Into the 11th race, we go the finale at 5.5 furlongs. She's so bearish, she's got to be favored, and she's got to take some beating here. But let's swing against Mad Madame Mim. I was on her last time out, thanks to the stewards, and actually thanks to whoever rode Ramashka, because she was badly interfered with, Mad Madame Mim. So
Yes.
first start against winners.
Yep, it is. And technically, she didn't get her nose down first, but if
She was gonna, though.
She was
She was
going
going
to,
right
yeah.
by that horse.
I love the post here. Edgar Zayas, Happy Joseph. If I get them today, I'm having a good day. She's got upside here. She's lightly raced. It can just continue to move forward.
Lots of these horses coming out of the Talk Much race, which earlier last week I would have told you was a race to ignore.
Until
Talk Much came back to win again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had her on the replay again, but
Nope.
that doesn't matter because the proof is in the pudding. The form comes up strong.
Yeah.
So She's So Bearish, Tayara, Action Rose, they're all coming out of a very live race. That bodes well for their chances, especially for those three because they have form on top of it.
Yeah, they do. And Brian, this is a single, the 5 Tiara. It's a bold
That's a
one.
bold
Yeah,
single.
coming. I mean, I like it though. That's you. This is a race where you could have gone 8 deep. He just stuck
I
to
know.
one.
But can you imagine being alive for like $3 or $4 grand and you don't have the 8 and
Yeah.
Tayara's in front and here comes She's So Bearish and comes back a couple of grand and you don't.
that it would.
I guess I'm just a wuss when it comes to stuff like that.
I've gone 3 deep in the race. I could have gone 5 deep and made my ticket $100+ and I probably still could not have the winner.
Yeah, because I mean we're talking about I think 4 or 5 horses already, and I'd use the one, Our Fortune Cookie, as well. She comes out of that same race. She had a ton of trouble in there.
Yeah.
She'll be completely forgot about. So
Yeah, and third time with Victor Barboza can help.
absolutely, and so it's really a great way to segue into our lightning round because it's an excellent card. Another excellent card here today, taking place via the simulcast scene at Laurel Park.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Maryland Million program from Laurel. It's already underway. So good luck to Brian. Good luck to all the team up that way for the Maryland Million. There's a pick 5 carryover there too, by the way.
Yeah, there is. And we talked about Fly the W earlier. He's going to be in tomorrow. He goes for 5 in a row. We'll look at his last win. I'm excited to see him back
Well,
tomorrow.
full disclosure, I won't be here tomorrow,
Oh,
so
no,
I will
okay.
not be betting against him.
Okay.
So he'll probably lose because I've been waiting for him to lose for 6 months so I can
And he
recoup my
won't.
investment,
I
and I
know.
will not be financially invested.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
he looks to be tough in this spot. He drew the rail, I believe. That could be a problem for him, but nonetheless,
He invents ways. There's some horses that invent ways to lose. This
he
horse
invents ways to win.
He really does.
I agree completely.
He really does.
Yep.
Best bet on the program, who is that?
It's Curlin's Cruisin'.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's who I would be as well.
It
Long
is.
shot on the program. You have like 800 of them. Which one?
Eastside Cool is where I went. Yeah.
Okay, Eastside, cool. I'm going to see about Eldon's Prince.
Okay, if I get that one home, that's impressive. And today, Racing Royalty is what we like to call it. It's a promotion we do. If you're on track and you bet $50, you have a chance to win wagering credits with First. So always a good thing. I can just get rid of $50 pretty easy.
Me too. I think I'm already hooked that much before we even got on the card.
Well,
today.
he's starting early. And the next weekend, looking ahead, a lot of big races coming up next weekend.
Absolutely. Sire Stakes action, the second leg of the 2023 Florida Sire Stakes. Our Harper Rose at 7/8. It's not the competition that will be the problem. It will be the distance, if it's anything. she's been a very impressive filly.
She has. Excited to see her back and ready to roll. Be a good weekend next week, but a great day today.
Great day today. 21 minutes now to first race post time. I'll get you caught up officially on those program changes here in just a moment. Sam will be back with a preview of race number 1 in just a little while. Certainly glad to have you with us, and enjoy your day at Gulfstream.